Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Arrow Season 2, Episode 11, Blind Spot. And this was another fantastic episode. I think this was probably the best episode of the season. It was such an intense episode. There was so much that happened in this episode, and so much shit went down. And there were a lot of really big reveals in this episode as well, which I really did like. So let's just get to the episode. So this whole episode had to deal with Laurel trying to convince everyone that Brother Blood is that Sebastian is Brother Blood. No one is really believing her about this, though, and it's kind of sad that no one's really believing her. What we do see is that, basically it's raining in Starling City, and Blood is visiting his mother in the asylum, and he knows that Laurel came and visited her, and she admits that she told Laurel about Blood killing his father, and he says, "I forgive you," but then he puts a skull on the Brother Blood mask and kills her. So he means business right now. He definitely means business. And Arrow cornered this bad guy. He wants to know more about Brother Blood, and he doesn't know really a lot about him, though. So Laurel's at her office, gets a call about the death of his mother. She died of a heart attack. The stone mask scared her to death. And Laurel goes to her ADA friend, Adam. She wants him to investigate Blood. He refuses because there's no evidence at all. This whole episode, Laurel is trying to convince people about this. And, about the whole thing with her, that with Sebastian being Brother Blood. No one really seems to, believe her, though, because she even uses her dad to contact the Arrow. She wants his help to look into Sebastian Blood, but she presents her evidence, and Arrow seems to believe her a bit. He has Felicity hack into Blood's cell phone records. She thinks there may be something in Laurel's evidence. They decide to look into whether Blood might have actually killed his father. So he goes to see Laurel. He needs her help to get the files on Blood's father's death. Laurel, by the way, is developing a very nasty habit of popping pills again. Arrow and Laurel, they sneak into the records building to get the file on Blood's father. The cops show up. There's a shootout of sorts. Arrow gets them out just in time, but Laurel is shocked when she opens the file and finds it empty. Someone has cleaned up Blood's past. So basically, Sin is streetwalk. Oliver goes to visit his friend Sebastian Blood. He asks if anything is wrong between Blood and Laurel. Blood says he doesn't know. Blood says he does not know of anything. He says, "I'll take care of Laurel." Knowing what we know about Blood, this is not good news for Laurel. And Oliver kind of went there just to see if Blood really, if Sebastian really is Brother Blood. I think he didn't really again, no one really believed Laurel at this point, so I think he was trying to, at this point, just believe Laurel, because no one really did believe her. And he was trying to, just believe her. So Laurel goes to her apartment. The police are there, and they have found her pills. So she's arrested for having controlled substance, and Officer Daly, one of Blood's men, is behind the arrest. So I kind of knew, this kind of made me think that Sebastian was actually the one that wanted her arrested. That was definitely a really big scene. So Oliver bails Laurel out. They go back to her apartment to clean up Brother Blood and a couple of his henchmen. But they actually surprise Oliver. They knock him out. They are here to grab Laurel. They leave a message for him telling him to come get Laurel. And Arrow shows up. Brother Blood's taunting Laurel. He's about to shoot Oliver, but then Laurel picks up the gun and she just starts shooting him in the mask instead. She fires several shots at him and he goes down to pool of blood. And she tells him to remove the mask, and it's not Sebastian, it is Officer Daly. So, Oliver actually does not know, he does not trust Laurel now. He does not trust Laurel at all. In fact, he's really upset that he believed Laurel about Sebastian Blood. He does not trust her again. He does not trust her now, and I think it's pretty big that, Sebastian just tricked him like that. It's really big, in my opinion, that he really, fooled him in that way. I thought that was really big. I thought he was actually going to figure out the truth about Sebastian, but I guess it's not going to be that easy, so we'll have to see what else happens there. So Sebastian, he goes to see Slade. Blood has brought 3 bodyguards with him. Oh, also, something really big happens. Arrow actually shows up as Brother Blood, and she taunted... Oh, I talked about this already. Alright, ADA Adam tells Laurel they are dropping the narcotics charge against her, but she is fired from the DA's office because nobody believes her now about the whole Brother Blood thing. They think she was completely lying about this, and they're really pissed at her. So they have a right to be because, you know, she was lying. She wasn't lying we know she wasn't lying. To them, they think she was lying, though. So Sebastian goes to see Slade. Blood has 3 bodyguards with him. Slade, dressed in some Deathstroke outfit, kills all 3 of the guards in a matter of seconds. He puts his blade to Blood's throat, and he says Blood will be next if he fails Slade again. And this was just huge, in my opinion. I love this scene. And so now Brother Blood is working with Slade, aka Deathstroke. So we'll have to see how Deathstroke actually finds out, you know, Deathstroke finds out that, you know, how Oliver finds out that Deathstroke is still alive. It's definitely going to be interesting to see if he finds out the truth. And then the other thing, so yeah, I really like the main plot of this episode. That was really amazing. Now let's get to Roy's storyline. Roy's storyline was just really huge. Roy just can't tell Thea about his newfound strength and hearing ability, but he has to tell someone, so he tells Sin, which I wasn't surprised about because he had to tell someone eventually. Also, before this, Oliver had actually ran into him in the alley, and he thanked Roy for saving more of his life. He is trusting to find out. He's trying to find out if Roy had been affected by the Maraku, but Roy's not giving anything away. He really isn't telling anyone about his powers, and, you know, he's not really telling anyone. So he goes to see Sin. He punches through a solid concrete block. Sin is stunned, but he tells her all about getting dosed with some strange serum. And Roy tells Sin he wants to find a bad guy to see if he can protect the city on his own. And this really is not going to go well. And, you know, Thea comes in, and Thea thinks, he's talking about, you know, he lies to Thea and says, oh, I'm talking about her going on a date. Basically, I thought that was really funny. So Roy and Thea, they're fighting because she knows something is up with him. Sin tells Roy she has found the perfect bad guy for him to target, a slasher who attacks prostitutes, and Roy wants Sin to dress up slutty so they can trap the slasher, and Roy can test his powers on the guy. And, as we thought, this did not end well, because Sin is street walking, tripping over high heels. This car pulls up, she gets in, and, Roy just rips the door off the bad guy's car, yanks the slasher from the vehicle. He proceeds to deliver a vicious beating. He's about to beat the living shit out of this guy to death. Sin jumps in to stop him. Roy lashes out at Sin, hurling her across the ground. He comes to his senses, stops attacking anyone, and it's clear he does not know how to safety harness his newfound abilities. So, definitely that was just really interesting. I found that really interesting. I thought that was a pretty big scene. I really thought that was big. And then the last thing we get with Roy is that, you know, Roy and Sin, they're at the hospital where the guy he beat is being treated. Thea shows up. She says she wants to help Roy, but he refuses, and he walks away. Roy actually gets a visit from Arrow in this episode, though. Arrow tells Roy a bit about the Maraku serum, and he basically says that it can affect your mind and ability to control yourself. He actually wants to help Roy control his new abilities. It's exactly like the comics I heard, because he turns into Red Arrow, so now him and Oliver are possibly going to be working together. We'll see what happens there. And so yeah, I really like Roy's plot as well. Let's finally get to the flashback. The flashback was pretty good in this episode. I enjoyed it. Oliver and Sara, they're at this island hideout. Slade is nowhere to be found. Sara wants to get the Maraku back from Slade, and who says he will take home if they give it to him, and she does not trust Ivo at all, but Oliver does not believe her, and she does not trust Ivo, but Sara and Oliver, they're having a heart-to-heart. They reflect on how they end up taking a romantic yacht trip together, the one that sank, and Sara talks about how Laurel scuttled Sara's chances to be Oliver's boyfriend several years ago. She says of her perfect sister, not everyone is not as they seem, and after Oliver falls asleep, Sara stealthily grabs a walkie-talkie, sneaks away, and what ends up happening is she talks to Ivo. She's not sure if she can trust him, but he speaks to her in a very compassionate way, and he actually says he needs Sara to rescue him from his darker side. And Sara is not won over by Ivo's words at all. She does not listen to him. So she tells him she wants no part of his plans, and he says he is not going to hunt her down and torture. He is going to hunt her down, and he's going to torture her. And that is where it ends for that storyline. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how he will torture her, what's going to happen to her. This was such an intense episode. So much happened in this episode. First of all, no one believes Laurel at this point. Laurel is completely screwed. She has no job. Nobody believes her. Nobody can trust her. So if anything bad happens to her, they're not going to save her. She could possibly get killed off in this season. I would not be surprised if they kill Laurel off this season, because she really is in very deep shit right now, and I would not be surprised if they killed her off. If anything, I think it'd be a big advance in plot. Let me know what you guys saw this episode, though. What is going to happen with the whole, Brother Blood thing? Will Oliver find out the truth about Sebastian? And will he also find out that Deathstroke is alive? Or were you surprised that Slade and Brother Blood were actually working together? I thought that was definitely interesting. Roy and Arrow working together. Do you think that this is going to work out well? Do you think Roy is actually going to become his sidekick? I'm definitely interested in seeing that happens. And also, how is Ivo going to torture Sara, and what's going to happen to her? And also, how did Oliver give Slade that eye patch? I'm still trying to figure that out. That's it for this review, though. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, another really great episode. Fantastic episode. Best episode this season. I loved every minute of it. It was so good. And I will see you guys in the next video, which will be my review of American Horror Story Coven. So see you then. Bye.